How's it going today, everybody? My name's Ghostly, and I finally have both of the not-so-new weapons now, Pandero and Tenora. Now, before I get into this video, I want to say welcome to any new subscribers because I have gotten a few in the past couple of days, and I want to say thanks to everybody on the support recently because my videos have been doing really well for the last several days. One more thing I need to address is that I realize I haven't uploaded in the past few days, and I'm sorry about that, but I've been a little bit busy and I've been working on stuff for multiple videos at the same time. And now that we got all that shit out of the way, the two new weapons that came out with the Octavia's Anthem update, Pandero and Tenora, are finally in my possession. Now you might be saying this update has been out forever and you're just now making a video about the new weapons. Then now let me explain myself. I have had the Pandero, which is the secondary weapon, pretty much since the update came out, because all you have to do is go buy that in the market. The Tenora, which if you haven't figured that out is the new primary weapon, is the one that has taken me ages to get. Now, part of the reason was because me and my friend were still working on our clan dojo and didn't have the Tenno lab up and running when it came out. So after it was done, I had to craft everything in the beginning to get to the Tenora so I could actually craft that damn weapon. And then once that was done, 3 days later, I had to hit Mastery Rank 10 because I was like a sliver away and it's a Mastery Rank 10 weapon. Well, those are my excuses, and whether or not you decide to believe them is up to you. But let's get right into the weapon stats and my opinion on the weapons. Now, I have to say that I haven't had much time at all with the Tenora, so take my opinions with a grain of salt because they might change over time. So the Tenora is what they classify as Octavia's signature rifle, and in my opinion that should be taken as an insult. Now the Tenora is a Mastery Rank 10 LMG, meaning it has a very large magazine size, which in this case is 80, and you'll be dumping these rounds into enemies at about 12 rounds per second, give or take, along with a slow ass reload of 2.5 seconds or 2.5 seconds. And with each shot, you will do about 23 physical damage, which isn't a whole lot. Now, there's also an alternate fire mode, which is a charged shot that consumes 10 rounds per shot. And while you don't do any more physical damage, which is kind of shitty, it does have a higher crit chance and a higher crit multiplier. Now, I could keep reading stats and telling you about the weapon, but none of that means shit if it isn't any good. And that is exactly what I think about this weapon, is that it's shit. Now, like I said before, I haven't had much time with it, so don't take my word for it. Now, where I have the biggest issue with the weapon is what it takes to craft it. To craft this weapon is 1 Forma, 5 Neuros, which isn't that bad depending on who you are and how many resources you have. But for me, that was a bitch because I had to go farm them, which is a pain in the ass. 15,000 Salvage, which for those of you who are complaining about how much it takes to craft Octavia, yeah, that didn't look like shit compared to this. 4,000 Rubido, however you want to fucking say that. And 20,000 credits, which is pretty normal for a weapon. And that is after you craft it in the Tenno lab, okay? Which the requirements for aren't that bad, but it takes 3 days, and it's just really not that worth it in the long run. So in my opinion, this weapon is not worth it because you would have to dump a ton of time into the weapon to make it worth a shit, and it takes too much to craft for what you get. Now, if you want to look at the weapon in more detail than what I have said and what I have given my opinion on, the link to the wiki will be down in the description. You can look at all the information you want to there. Now, like I stated before, I've had the Pandero pretty much since the update came out because all you have to do is go to the market, spend some credits on the blueprint, craft the weapon, and boom, you've got it. It's not hard to get, and because of this, I've had much more time to use it and get used to it. Now, you might think my opinion on the Pandero would be pretty shitty as well because I had such a harsh opinion on the Tenora, but it's complete opposite because I actually really like this weapon, and I will explain why. Now, I may have said it in a past video, but I don't remember exactly if I have or not. I never really use secondaries in Warframe because most of them are shit. The Pandero is a Mastery Rank 7 weapon that you can buy the blueprint for in the market, like I've said several times. It does 76 damage per shot with a fire rate of 3 rounds per second and an 8-round magazine and a reload speed of 1 second. None of this really means anything once you add mods in the equation because it'll change everything, but these are the base stats without mods. Now, there's also an alternate fire mode on this gun as well, but stats-wise, it's exactly the same. It does the same amount of damage. The crit chance is exactly the same. Status chance is exactly the same. It's all the same stat-wise, but you just fire the shots really fast like they do from Overwatch. Like I said before, if you want to look at more stats on a more in-depth level on this gun, the link to the wiki will be down below, and you can do your own research if you want to. Now, this weapon, in my opinion, is pretty strong for a secondary weapon. It's one of the stronger ones I used, and I actually don't mind using it as a weapon. I'm not saying it's the be-all, end-all of weapons, but it isn't that bad, especially since it's pretty easy to craft. All you need is 2 Argon crystals, which can be a little hard to get, you know, unless you know where to get them. 4,500 circuits, 5,500 cryotic, which cryotic is super easy to get. 25,000 salvage, which is a decent amount, and 20,000 credits. Now, that's not that bad considering what you're getting because you're actually getting a really decent weapon. Like, it actually is pretty strong. The only bad thing I can really think of is the low magazine capacity, but I threw a mod on that upped it to 11 instead of 8, and it feels much more natural. So those are the new weapons that came out with the Octavia's Anthem update, and just for a little recap, the Tenora is straight ass, and I do not recommend it whatsoever. The Pandero is a badass weapon that can actually get some stuff done, and I highly recommend it since it's so easy to get. So if this video sounds a little rushed, I do apologize because I'm trying to make several videos this week because I will be out of town next week for Easter holiday, and I don't want to go a week without a video again. With that being said, if you have a different opinion on the weapons or just don't like my opinion, please be sure to leave a comment down below with your opinions. But if you did enjoy this video or found it useful, please smack that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos in the future, well, you know what button to push. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. It's been Ghostly. Peace!